on a Monday on Theoretically Speaking. Mike T, how's it going?
Theo, how are you? You have a nice weekend?
I had a great weekend. In fact, I was on the grill. I got some grilled salmon up, got some grilled chicken up. I'm trying out my new Traeger. I'm like a week and a half in, and you know what? I have a promising future as a grill master. Do you ever touch up on the grill yourself?
I'm like a third-round pick. Like I'll have like once in a while like pretty good performances, but all in all, like I'm pretty replaceable. Are you
a gas grill, pellet grill, or charcoal?
No, I gotta go gas. I gotta control the controllables. Like let the gas have the elements heat up there, and let me concentrate on the task at hand.
Right. Well, you have so many other responsibilities as well. So I respect the gas move. Just do not tell Chris Canty from Unsportsmanlike. Apparently, he does not respect gas grill men. One thing that I can respect right now in the NFL is guys getting paid specifically at the wide receiver position. Am I off track here, Mike T? Wide receiver has now separated itself as the number 2 most important position in football based on the way that GMs draft it in the first round and the fact that Justin Jefferson just reeled in $35 million a year from the Vikings.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up, Theo. We talked about that with Greeny on Get Up this morning, which is, when you look at the economics, Justin Jefferson went by Nick Bosa as the highest paid non-QB, which, look, if you and I were running a team, of course we want Justin Jefferson on it, but you can replace receivers, 7-1 in the first round this year alone. So you certainly can make the argument possibly that, hey, what's a harder position to find? Like, if I'm the Cowboys, for example, I'm still paying Micah Parsons before CeeDee Lamb.
That's a good point right there because this is why I like what the Minnesota Vikings did. Not only did they pay Justin Jefferson at the same time that they picked an edge rusher in the first round, they picked a quarterback in the first round, so they have those guys on rookie contracts if they pan out for the next 4 or 5 years. They did it before the Dallas Cowboys could pay CeeDee Lamb and before the 49ers could either move or pay Brandon Ayuk. So it seems like one of those deals where you're keeping your franchise superstar. You're also putting those GMs in a tougher spot because the price has to go up now for both CD and Ayuk, right?
I think so. And candidly, if I was Dallas, I still don't know what I'm waiting for because I know that Justin Jefferson is going to get a massive deal. So I'm totally with you. It just doesn't make sense to me, like why Dallas is waiting. I think their price is going up. Same thing for Ayuk. I think the big winner, I think where this market really tops out for the foreseeable future is going to be Ja'Marr Chase. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to slot in right above his LSU teammate, Justin Jefferson.
Love that call. Mike Tannenbaum joining us here on Theoretically Speaking, talking wide receiver contracts. The latest one to sign one today, Justin Jefferson, 4 years, $140 million. $110 million of that guaranteed. It's the most of any non-quarterback in NFL history. Mike T, when you look at the way that this Vikings team is now constructed going forward for the next 2 or 3 years, how much more fondly do you look on the fact that they walked away from Kirk Cousins and, again, they get back up in the first round to get themselves an edge rusher? Because if you're going to pay a guy like Justin Jefferson $35 million a year, you have to get cheaper in other spots to afford to keep him at that number, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. And look, now their window, hopefully they hit on, J.J. McCarthy and their window's open where, they can afford some veteran players because, the quarterback's going to go from about, $6 million a year, $7 million a year to whatever that number is going to be in 3 years, $60 million plus. So you do have a savings, and now is your window to try to get a deal done. And I do applaud them for going up to getting Dallas Turner.
When you look at what they're paying Justin Jefferson now for the Minnesota Vikings, it feels like because he's one of those players that you can say Kevin O'Connell can build an offense around. You can structure a lot of things around having Justin Jefferson as a guy that can line up anywhere and create mismatches. His APY, right, his annual per year around $35 million, that's a big cap hit for a wide receiver. I'm curious to you, though, because the Dolphins just paid 2 wide receivers nearly $60 million a year in Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They also have the Tua bill that they're going to have to foot. Which position would you rather be in right now? The Vikings, who have one guy at $35 million, you got Jordan Addison on the rookie contract and your quarterback on a rookie contract, or the Miami Dolphins, who are going to be paying 2 guys about $30 million a year on the outside at wide receiver, and what we're hearing is Tua Tagovailoa still likely going to get a contract extension upwards of $50 million this year.
Yeah, you always want to be on a rookie contract when you can. I mean, that's just league-wide. I think the best example was, Patrick Mahomes. Once he signed, they had to move on from, a bunch of players, most notably, Tyreek Hill. You just saw Buffalo move on essentially from their secondary, both safeties, corner and Tre'Davious White. So, your best window, Theo, is when you can hit on a rookie quarterback. And again, depending on where you are, the math is somewhere between saving, $45 to $50 million a year per year, which is, at least 3 or 4 good football players.
We're going to find out real soon about how good your guy J.J. McCarthy is with the Vikings, right? Having an offensive-minded head coach like that and him keeping the core, that receiving core that they have in Minnesota. Like, how soon do you feel like we'll get a good gauge on how good he can be in the league?
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, we're all in this, instant evaluation period. But he'll play, I would think, sooner than later. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sam Darnold start on opening day, but I think, by Halloween, the latest, we'll see, J.J. McCarthy play.
Mike Tannenbaum joining us here on Theoretically Speaking on an Duffy's MVP Monday. Mike T, I have to ask you, you were in a position where you've brought many rookies into NFL locker rooms and also put them out there on the field to compete. Can you remember any rookie? I mean, it's not going to be similar to what Caitlin Clark is going through in the WNBA right now, but can you remember any rookie that drew a bit of either resentment or you saw other players going at them harder either in training camp or during the regular season when they went out there and played guys with other jerseys on? Maybe not similar to Caitlin Clark's experience, but just guys attacking at a rookie that has a name or a bit of a pedigree coming into the league.
Yeah, it's funny, rookie quarterbacks, I think, do get bounced around, a little bit. Will we see that a little bit with Caleb Williams? Maybe. You just don't see that as much. I know what you're talking about. I do think rookie quarterbacks sometimes do, they are a little bit entitled to be candid. I think Zach Wilson kind of went through that because he said some things that I think, Zach Wilson seems like a great guy who just said some things that were just off, and you lose your teammates and, other opponents notice it. But I think in this day and age, you see less of that in the NFL.
Right. And then the last one here for you, Mike T, is there any chance that CeeDee Lamb or Brandon Ayuk end up eclipsing what Justin Jefferson just got from the Minnesota Vikings, either on annual per year or total guarantees, which blew A.J. Brown out of the water? Do you see that in their foreseeable future, or do you think, again, it's Ja'Marr Chase that has the best chance here?
Yeah, I think Ayuk and, CeeDee Lamb are really good players, but I think Justin Jefferson is clearly better. I think it's going to be Ja'Marr Chase that is the one that eclipses it, and I think we'll see that, in the coming months, maybe next offseason. But, again, if I'm the Bengals, I want to get this thing done, sooner rather than later.
Love it. Mike T, enjoy yourself. Also, maybe brush up on those grill skills, man. I might have you – I'm working on some new recipes, so I might share those with you going forward.
All right. That sounds great, Theo. Thank you.
My guy, Mike Tannenbaum, thank you so much for joining us here on Theoretically Speaking, always brought to you by Eisner Ampner. When Mike T drops some football knowledge on us, and we always love it on a Duffy's MVP Monday. Speaking of our Duffy's MVP Monday, C-Cat, we already have Kennedy Carter of the Chicago Sky. Do you have a submission for MVP of the weekend?
Bear with me here because I'm a giant New York Yankees fan. So take that with a grain of salt, you listening in the car, you viewing on YouTube at Theo Speaking. But it's really simple for me. I sat through a weekend of watching New York Yankees baseball out on the West Coast, and my Duffy's MVP candidate for MVP of the weekend, it is the combination of Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. So I have named this player Erwan Jodo. Erwan Jodo, the combination of Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. Look at these numbers. 12 for 22, the combination of the two this weekend, combined for 12 RBIs. These guys are absolute freaks. Juan Soto hit a go-ahead 2-run home run almost into a Covey Cove in San Francisco yesterday to give the Yankees the win. Got to go with Erwan Jodo.
First off, I love the nickname that you came up with there, right? If they were like a celebrity couple, that would be on the New York Post headline. Secondly, just as a non-baseball guy that doesn't pay enough attention, when you say it, is it RBIs or is it RBI?
So it runs batted in is
right.
what that stands for. So
right.
you don't need to put the S at the end. RBI.
You said RBIs.
Yeah, I probably said it wrong. It rolls off the tongue easier when you put an S.
It's much better with an S. You know what? And you know what? All those unwritten rules in baseball, that's why it's so stuffy. How about we just all go with RBIs? If you want to watch some good RBIs from the Miami Marlins in Lone Depot Park where they put on a show, and you're going to want to have to pull up. You're going to want to have to pull up and see it in person. Marlins.com/tickets. That's how you get your hands on the best baseball in the Sunshine State. The Miami Marlins. If you want some Fiesta Fridays, you want some Friday plans, maybe you and the boo, y'all can go to a ballpark that's air-controlled. We're in South Florida. How many places you go that has some nice blasting AC for you? Keep it nice and cool. And on Fridays, you got $5 beers, fiery 305 eats, and a post-game Miami party.
That might be the only $5 beer in Miami. No. In Lone Depot Park.
Might be.
On a Friday especially?
It's got to be the only one. And then they got Legacy Saturdays as well as just tickets throughout the week. So come and join the Miami Marlins all season long at Lone Depot Park. All season long. And you can taste the flavors of the 305 and enjoy some good baseball with some friends. Get your tickets today at marlins.com/tickets. C-Cat, I don't want to insert myself as a Duffy's MVP of the weekend candidate, but damn near I am close.
Ooh.
Because what I did this weekend, it was life-altering, life-changing, and I would say almost even life-saving for my wife, Ashley. She's beautiful. She's wonderful. She's so smart. But there was one tip I gave her, one thing I helped her with that literally could have saved her life. We'll talk about that when we come back. C-Cat, Theo Dorsey. Also, tap back in. That Mike Tannenbaum interview was great. Anywhere you get your podcast, theoretically speaking, to hear that back if you just missed it, we had Mike Tannenbaum on. He was amazing. Tap in on the podcast. We'll come back. I'll tell you how I saved my wife's life this weekend on Theoretically Speaking.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-